Welcome back to another video, you guys. For those who are new to my channel, my name is Anthony. I used to be a fairly skinny kid with a high metabolism who could not gain any weight for the life of him until I figured out a way just to bulk more efficiently through learning from my own mistakes over my long 7 years of training and eating and really just going from skinny to fit. So main purpose of the videos is to help you guys get, go from skinny to fit, so this way you can avoid the whole trial and error process when it comes to that, because there's a lot of things that come into play with fitness, and it's best to keep things super simplistic rather than overcomplicate them. So this is what this video I'm going to talk about, is really keeping things very stupid simple, right? So I'm going to share with you my biggest mistakes going from skinny to muscular, so this way you guys can know what to fix as far as what you're doing personally yourselves. So this way you can actually efficiently gain muscle, gain weight, and get the results that you're so desiring to get within your fitness journey. So let's start off the video by first explaining to you that the mistakes that I personally made, maybe it's the mistakes that you have also made yourselves, kept me looking like this right here. Kept me looking like a skinny kid with, with a fast metabolism, sure, but just kept me looking pretty skinny. You can look at my lanky arms right there. My legs are just as lanky. In case you guys are curious about measurements, at least in this picture, I probably weighed around maybe like 140 something, maybe 130-ish. It's up there, give or take. But I measure, or my height is 6'0", and most of that weight just comes from the height itself. But as you can see, I'm clearly a skinny kid. This picture was actually taken post hernia surgery. Not literally right after the surgery, but I'd say like a few months after the fact. I just wanted to take a picture of what I look like now, so that way I can, just keep that documented and look back on it one day and realize how far I've come along. And it is crazy how I went from looking like this to, looking like how I'll show you in a few slides here, because I first want to get into the actual meat and potatoes of this video. But keep in mind, these mistakes kept me looking like this. So definitely avoid these following mistakes that I will mention to you all. Number one is just swinging the weights around. Sure, I was inside the gym, but what good is that if I'm not making each single rep count? Really, my main purpose when it came to training back then was just to get in and out of the gym. So obviously this meant that the intensity or the effort that I was exerting inside my training sessions, each single one of my training sessions, was shit. It was not good. It was, subpar. And if anything, I was just wasting my time being inside the gym because I was not training as efficiently as I could be. And so that's a big thing that I see nowadays as well. It doesn't matter if you're skinny or fit, or or looking to go from skinny to fit, or whatever it is your fitness goals are. This is just a problem all around with people who are new to the gym, who are a few months into the gym, or even like a couple years into the gym. They don't train with actual intention behind what they're doing, right? They ego lift, they just swing the weights around. They stop as soon as the going gets too tough. So what I mean by that, as soon as the exercise starts to burn, they just stop immediately and they don't do anything else. And so that's what I mean when I say that, right? Like, you actually want to make sure you make each training session count, because if you're just there to talk to your friends, swing the weights around, then it's just not going to be worth your time training, in my opinion. Like, sure, you're getting some good, benefits from just swinging the weights around, but if your goal is to gain muscle, gain mass, then you definitely want to make sure that you're optimizing, you're dialing in your training, so this way you get the best bang for your buck. So that way you can actually gain, achieve the goals that you want to achieve fitness-wise. So don't swing the weights around. Don't make the mistake that I used to make myself. A big thing that I always used to think is that more equals better. And that's not the case at all when it comes to training. Just specifically training. Like, yeah, you need to eat in a surplus. Like, you'll have to eat more to gain weight. So ignore that part. But as far as the training part goes, like, more does not always equal better. Like, you see these guys do 4, 5, even sometimes up to 6 sets of a certain exercise, and you see that and you think, wow, I need to be doing as many sets as that person is doing, just so that way I can gain that physique, gain the amount of mass or weight that that guy has packed on, right? And that was my same mentality too back then. I would always do the typical 4 sets by 12, thinking that the more I do, the more gains I'm gonna make. But that could not be farther from the case. And before I kind of get into what I want to get more into when it comes to the training part of things, and kind of give you some actual actionable steps to take if you are someone who's training 4, 5, or even 6 sets inside the training session and spending 2 hours a day inside the gym, or maybe even a little bit more. um, please keep in mind that people who train with a lot of volume, with a lot of sets inside each of their training sessions, 9 times out of 10, there are on some performance enhancing drugs, right? And so it makes sense for them to do that amount of volume because their body can take it. They can recover more efficiently and 10 times more effectively than us natural lifters can because of the anabolics, because of the supplements that they're using um, on a day-to-day basis, right? So steroids, tren, TRT, whatever it is, right? Whatever it is that you see out there, PEDs, SARMs, people who use performance enhancing drugs, they are able to get away with doing a lot of volume because their body can recover so much more quickly than our bodies can as natural lifters. So do not always take what you see online to heart, because that person might be on something, and if they are, they should be honest with you, the viewers, about it. And likely nowadays, a lot of people are honest about their gear use. But some people still think, people especially who are new to the gym, still think that they need to do a lot to get the physique that the person that they're watching has. But that's not the truth, right? They're on these performance enhancing drugs that literally makes them Superman. Like, I shit you not, like, it makes them feel like Superman. Like, I myself have never done anything like that, but the reviews, the people who have given testimonies about, or have given testimonials about, using steroids, tren, whatever it is, right? Whatever anabolics it is, it literally makes them like Superman, feel like Superman. It makes them, do a lot more. It makes them a lot more aggressive in some cases. It makes them recover a lot quickly. And there's a lot of effects that come into play when using those kind of supplements, or not really supplements, but performance enhancing drugs. But with anything that has its pros, it also has its cons. And so I implore you, if you are someone who is kind of like hypnotized or mesmerized by these people who look amazing because of these drugs, please do your own research when it comes to those specific drugs, because there are a lot of negatives, a lot of downsides when it comes to using those kind of things. So tangent over, but moving on to what I wanted to discuss inside this slide. I was actually harming my gains by doing a lot more sets than my body could physically do. Naturally, I might have just been swinging the weights around, but doing 4 sets by 12 reps for every exercise and spending like 2 hours inside the gym left my body with very little time to recover. And I'm going to get into this in about 2 slides here, but I would also train 6 times per week, and that only left 1 day for me to rest and recover. And that made no sense for me to do because I was not someone who's on these performance enhancing drugs. I was also not training with intensity at all whatsoever. And so all around, it just made no sense for me to be spending that amount of time inside the gym if I was putting in subpar effort and just kind of like going through the motion of things. So there is that. So make sure you don't think that more equals better inside of your training specifically, because that is really just not the reality of the situation at all. Thinking I was eating enough is another big one. I would always think that I would be eating enough, like I just inhale food. I guess I had kind of like a dirty bulk mentality when I was first starting my fitness journey, if I could best describe it, because I would just eat like a whole large pizza by myself. I would eat burgers, I would eat Applebee's, like different foods from there. I would eat McDonald's, Chick-fil-A, whatever it is I can think of. I probably ate it because I was really teetering towards that dirty bulk territory. The reality is, though, I was not eating anywhere near enough that I should have been. I would have a small ass breakfast, a small ass dinner. Like it just, I was not eating enough, plain and simple. The biggest kick in the ass, though, that I gave myself is that I wasn't tracking anything that I was putting inside my body. And that was kind of like the biggest slap in my face that I could give myself, because I really had no tangible data to say, yeah, I am eating enough and here's how much I'm eating, to show people or to show myself that, I had the data to back up what I was talking about. But in reality, I was not tracking anything at all whatsoever. The first few years of my lifting journey, I was probably doing intuitive eating for, I'd say, 70% of my first few years of lifting. And so with that, I really didn't have the data that I needed to realize where I needed to fix my eating and to know when I was stalling in weight or plateauing in weight. Because I also wasn't tracking my weight at all whatsoever. And you want to at least track your weight once or twice a week. Um, so this way you can see if you're actually starting to gain weight, or you're losing weight, or you're just maintaining your weight. So this way you can either bump up your calories, or do whatever it is that you need to do to actually start gaining weight, right? But 9 times out of 10, you'll have to bump up the calories, since you're going to be eating, since you have to eat in a surplus to gain weight. So if you're someone who's not tracking your weight, or who feels like it's your fast metabolism because you're not gaining weight, like I thought myself for the longest time, you're plain and simply just not eating anywhere near enough that you need to eat. So I recommend downloading MyFitnessPal, because that's an app that I use all the time. Um, because that app just allows for you to track your calories, track your macros, everything you need to know about what you're putting inside your body. So this way you can actually see tangibly through data points if you're eating enough to allow for you to gain the weight that you want to gain for yourself. So download MyFitnessPal. When it comes to tracking your weight, I just recommend, if you have like an Android or an iPhone, any smartphone really, any smartphone comes with like a notepad app. So go to that and just start tracking your weight right there. Like, right, Monday, I weighed this, and then the next week when you weigh yourself Monday, whatever the date is, weigh yourself again, and then jot down whatever it is that you weighed. So this way you have that data as well to see, to look at. And, again, it's just really for you to progress, to see if there's anything that needs fixing inside your eating. So this way you don't get discouraged, burned out, and ultimately, quit your whole fitness journey. 1 rest day per week. So as I mentioned 2 slides back, this is what I was essentially doing inside of my training. Like, I would train 6 times per week. I would not. I thought that more was better, essentially, right? Just because I thought that's what you need to do to gain mass. As I mentioned, though, that could not be farther from the case. That's actually not the reality of the situation at all. Presently, I have 2 full rest days set in place. So now I just train 5 times per week. And I could probably get away with training even just 2, 3, 4 times per week. But personally, I enjoy training. And so that's why I have it up to 5 times per week. But please don't get me wrong. You do not need to train 5 times per week to see results. If you train 2 to 4 times per week and your eating and your rest and recovery is dialed in, you can see great results for yourself. So don't get that twisted. Don't think you need to train 5 or even 6 times per week to see great results. As long as you're training with intensity, as long as you're training with a purpose, as long as you are eating in a surplus, as long as you're sleeping 7 hours plus per night, you're going to see the results that you want to see for yourself, as long as you're being consistent with everything. So, especially with training with intensity, like, you do need that rest. Like, I need 2 full rest days, just to allow for my body to fully recover, and not get burnt out mentally and physically. So this way I can actually have full energy for the workouts that I have ahead for the following week. So 2 full rest days is what works for me. Play around and see what works best for you. Some people, they need maybe 3 rest days. Maybe some people need 4 rest days. The older you get, though, the more rest days you'll probably need, maybe 3 to 4 times per week worth of rest, and you only train 3 or 3 to 2 times per week, or 4 times per week, whatever it is. But I always say, just experiment, see what works for you. The most important thing is sticking with a program, or sticking with a workout split that coincides with your work schedule, with your everyday schedule, really. Because if you only have, I don't know, like 3 times per week where you can dedicate to the gym, completely okay. You can make a fabulous split with that, so that way you can get a really efficient workout in. Even if you only do have 30, 45 minutes, or even up to an hour per day to dedicate towards the gym. Because personally, I work out for only an hour, maybe an hour 15 some days if I want to add abs in here and there. But an hour max is usually what I spend inside the gym, and no more, just because I train in a lot more efficient way that allows for me to be able to do that, right? So see what your days look like. I always recommend doing like some sort of life audit. See where you spend all your time at the end, subtract everything from 24 hours, since there's 24 hours in a day, and the time that you get left over is the amount of time that you have left to dedicate towards the gym. If you have 5 hours left in your day, definitely don't work out for 5 hours. If you want to dedicate 45 minutes to an hour of it, then you're able to do so and you can get a really kick-ass workout in for that amount of time. So thanks to those experiences that I had back then, I ended up looking like this. So once I got my training dialed in, once I got my eating dialed in, once I got my rest and recovery dialed in, I ended up looking like this. I went from being the skinny kid that I used to look like this, to looking like this. It's not an impressive physique whatsoever. I think it's a decent physique. I still have a lot more work to do, in my opinion. But it's definitely loads better than how I was training and how I looked like before. So thanks to those experiences, I look like this now. If there's anything I could give in terms of like kind of last minute advice, it would be to really just be consistent with everything that I've mentioned in this video here today. I hope you're taking notes. I hope you're jotting down some actionable steps, because I'm going to mention some actionable steps for you in the next slide here. But the most important thing is, like, any workout program that you do, or any special diet that you do to help you gain mass or muscle, will not work if you don't put in the work. Because a lot of people, they say also, I'm not gaining weight because the workout program doesn't work, or because the meal plan that I invested into doesn't work. But if you take a look at the data in the back end, if someone is a client of someone's who's helping them gain weight, they've done little to no work, right? They're not attending coaching calls. They're not putting themselves out there. They're not asking for help. And so how can you expect to gain results if you're not putting in the work that's necessary? Because the workout program, the meal plan, those things won't do the work for you. You have to put in the work, and you have to be very consistent with it. Now, I'm not saying you have to bust your ass 24/7, not at all, because we're not bodybuilders. I'm not a bodybuilder. I have no aspirations to be a bodybuilder. I just make these videos because I like to help people who are skinny, who was in the same spot as I was back then, like this right here. So this way they can actually gain the results that they desire. And if someone wants to work with me on a more intimate, a more one-to-one setting, then hell yeah, absolutely. I'll be happy to help you and hold you accountable, support you, so this way you don't get burnt out. This way you don't fall off the wagon. Because I want to make sure that you guys achieve the results that you want to achieve, whether it's through me, through just my videos, or maybe through someone else, right? Because at the end of the day, I know not everyone is a fit for coaching, and that's completely okay. But the main purpose is that, or the main thing that I want to get at with just saying all this, is that you need to put in the work regardless, wherever it is that you're getting help from. Now, some actionable steps for you guys to actually, hit the ground running from this video, because I think it's always important to take action. I think it should always be like 30% watching videos and 70% taking action, because that's the only way you're going to get results at the end of the day. So some action steps for you all moving forward: track your eating, weigh yourself 1 to 2 times per week. 1 time per week, just to make it more bearable for yourself. So track your weight every Sunday. So track your weight one Sunday, and then the next week track it the other Sunday. Jot down the notes or how much you weigh on the Notepad app. Make sure to put the date of which Sunday you have that weight for. Number 3 is find a split that works best for you. Like I mentioned, the life audit, see how much time you have remaining at the end of each day. So this way you know how much time you have to dedicate towards the gym, thus helping you find which split will work best for you. Number 4 is making sure to train with intensity. Make every single rep count. Don't give up so easily. Number 5 is recover efficiently. Make sure to get 7 hours of sleep per night, every night. The more the better. And figure out what rest days work for you. If you need to have 2 or 3 rest days, perfect. That means you can do a split that you should buy or make a split that coincides with the amount of rest days that you want to have. And then number 6 is to just make sure to subscribe to Ink and Fitness, so that way you have more bulking advice, more fitness advice, so this way you can actually see the results that you're wanting to see inside your weight gain, your muscle gain journey. But that wraps it up for the video for today, guys. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Comment down below what other videos specifically you all want to see. I'll be happy to make those videos for you all. And if you are someone who is skinny, who's looking to go from skinny to fit without having to go through the trial and error process of figuring stuff out on your own, then click the link down below in the description, so this way we can see if private coaching is a fit for you. But until the next video, guys, take care. Much love to you all. Peace.